Alright team, let's talk about something every mariner hopes they never have to hear for real. Man overboard. It's a phrase that sends a chill down your spine, but readiness is our best defense. That's why today, we're diving deep into the critical importance of man overboard drills. This isn't just about ticking a box, it's about building a life-saving reflex. So, what does the rulebook say? SOLAS, the International Convention for the Safety of Life at Sea, is very clear. It mandates that we conduct man overboard drills at least once every month. Why so often? Because in a real emergency, there's no time to consult a manual. Your actions need to be instinctive, immediate, and accurate. Monthly drills ensure that the procedure is always fresh in our minds, turning complex actions into muscle memory for the entire crew. Now, let's be honest, how many of us have done drills on a calm, sunny day where everything goes perfectly? It's a good start, but reality is rarely so kind. Emergencies don't wait for good weather. That's why our training needs to be as realistic as possible. We need to simulate the very conditions we dread. This means conducting drills not just during the day, but at night, in simulated low visibility. How does your lookout procedure change when you can't see the water clearly? How effective is your searchlight? These are questions we need to answer in training, not during a real crisis. We also need to simulate bad weather conditions. Imagine high winds and rough seas. How does this affect the ship's maneuverability? How does it impact the recovery of a person from the water? Practicing the Williamson turn or the Anderson turn in choppy waters is a completely different ball game. These realistic scenarios are what truly test our skills and our equipment. A successful mob response is a symphony of two key sections working in perfect harmony: the bridge team and the deck recovery team. It's not two separate operations, it's one integrated response. Let's start on the bridge. The moment the alarm is raised, the bridge team springs into action. This involves a series of critical, simultaneous tasks. First, immediate action, throwing a lifebuoy with a smoke signal and light towards the person. This marks the position and provides initial flotation. The officer of the watch must immediately sound the general alarm. 3 long blasts on the ship's whistle and make a man overboard announcement over the PA system. Simultaneously, they must hit the mob button on the GPS to log the exact coordinates of the incident. This is your digital breadcrumb, a vital piece of information for the search. Then, the helmsman is given the order for the turn. Which turn you use, the Anderson, the Williamson, or the Charnot, depends on the situation, visibility, and how quickly the person was spotted. This decision has to be made in seconds. The bridge team is also the communication hub. They are responsible for broadcasting a distress message on VHF channel 16, if necessary, coordinating with other vessels in the area, and keeping a visual on the person in the water or the marker buoy. Clear, calm, and concise communication is paramount. Panic on the bridge leads to chaos everywhere else. While the bridge is maneuvering the ship, the deck recovery team is preparing for the most hands-on part of the operation. Their clock starts ticking the second and the alarm sounds. The designated rescue boat crew rushes to their station, dons their immersion suits and life jackets, and prepares the boat for launching. Every second they save here is a second closer to rescue. The rest of the deck team prepares the recovery area. This could involve rigging a pilot ladder, a recovery net, or a rescue sling. They need to prepare the designated side of the ship, ensuring it's clear of obstructions. They also serve as extra lookouts, pointing and maintaining visual contact with the person in the water. Their communication with the bridge is vital, providing updates on the person's position relative to the ship. Coordination between the bridge and deck is everything. The bridge needs to inform the deck team of their approach strategy, the side they'll be using for recovery, and the expected time of arrival at the scene. The deck team needs to confirm they are ready for recovery and guide the final approach. This constant loop of information ensures that when the ship is in position, the recovery can happen swiftly and safely. A breakdown in this communication can lead to dangerous delays. Now, let's talk about the most unpredictable factor in any emergency: the human element. We can have the best equipment and the most polished procedures, but if we don't account for how people react under pressure, we're missing a huge piece of the puzzle. Stress, fatigue, and panic are real, and they can derail even the best-laid plans. Imagine the stress of a real mob situation. The adrenaline is pumping, your heart is racing. This stress can lead to tunnel vision, where you focus on one task and forget others. It can cause communication to break down. People might shout instead of speaking clearly, or forget to pass on critical information. Our drills need to incorporate this. After a drill, we should debrief. Who felt stressed? Where did communication get confusing? Recognizing these moments in training helps us manage them in a real event. Fatigue is another silent threat. A man overboard could happen at the end of a long watch or after days of rough weather when the crew is already exhausted. A tired crew makes more mistakes. This is why simplicity and repetition in our drills are so important. Procedures should be so ingrained that they can be performed correctly even when you're not at your sharpest. And then there's panic. Panic can affect the person in the water, making them unable to help in their own rescue. It can also affect the crew. A panicked crew member might forget their role or perform an unsafe action. The key to preventing panic is confidence. And where does confidence come from? It comes from successful training. It comes from knowing your job, trust in your equipment, and, most importantly, trust in your team. By regularly practicing in challenging conditions and openly discussing the human factors involved, we build a crew that is not just technically proficient, but mentally resilient. We build a team that can rely on each other when it matters most. So, let's reframe how we see these drills. They are not a chore. They are an investment in our safety and the safety of everyone on board. They are our commitment to one another, a promise that if the worst should happen, we are ready to act decisively and bring our shipmate home. Let's make every drill count. Let's train hard, train realistically, and train together. Because out here, we are all each other's lifeline. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more content on maritime safety and operations. See you next time.